Hey, what is Chambers of My Heart? What is that?
Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Caliph Prefers, so I'm back with another video. Same spiel as usual, been busy, haven't really been active, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I randomly came across a trailer for something in my suggestions, and I kind of forgot I was subscribed to these people, which is fine. But I saw a trailer for a new cartoon, and because I couldn't pick out who it was from, I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. I have a few thoughts. So, it's by Angel Studios, and if you guys aren't familiar with who Angel Studios is, they are a Christian media company. They are responsible for the 3D cartoon. I believe it's called King David or David. That's one of them. And then they also bolstered The Sound of Freedom. I'm not a subscribed member on their website. They do have a website which is subscription based, which you can have access to a bunch of different things. Anyway, I watched the trailer once already and had some thoughts because I didn't realize what YouTube channel it was until I looked, and now it's just kind of weird. Anyway, I'm going to show this to you, and please don't copyright strike me. I'm reacting. So, anyway, let's get on with the video. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this, so yeah, let's just do that. So, right off the bat, X-Men 97, there's mixed reactions. I haven't watched it. The art style's a bit weird. They've kind of done some stuff with it. I've seen like clips here and there. It doesn't really catch my interest, so to speak. I did grow up with the old X-Men cartoon because of my parents, but like I have no interest in the new season or block. But yeah, no, this is why I was really freaking confused as to who was doing this, because that's the very first thing you get introduced to from the studio behind X-Men 97.
For 1,000 years, the star has...
But yeah, did you guys catch those other studios? So let me go back. You have Castlevania, which is really weird. And then from the studio behind Invincible. I'm not familiar with the studio name, but Castlevania was really successful. I'm not watching the second block of it. Utter trash, from what I'm understanding. And Invincible, from what I hear, I've seen clips, but Invincible is supposed to be a really successful, more mature animated hero cartoon, superhero cartoon. And I've seen clips where I don't think it's geared at kids. I think it's like rated 17 plus or 18 plus. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. You have X-Men 97, you have Invincible, and you have Castlevania. One hell of a mix. So I guess they're dipping their toes into Christian media now? Weird.
1,000 years, the star has been the only light above the wild and waste of Ara. But what the star really is, most have forgotten.
So a few things. When I first saw this, I kind of got, and I'm not here to make fun of the show or Angel Studios, some of the vibes I got off of it, I immediately thought of the, this is not good, the She-Ra cartoon that Netflix released that was a total dumpster fire. The vibes kind of from that, just because like the coloring and art style And this guy, okay, so I don't know this character's name, but what does he remind you of? Like, just how colorful, the pointed ears. I'm not saying that the art style's bad, but for me, somebody grew up with Dragon Ball Z. The Kais. This guy reminds me of one of the Kais. So I did look up a few posters or a few things, and I'll show that to you in a second because this trailer's almost done. There is influences you can tell from a plethora, and I may be reading too much into the character designs, but you can tell these people grew up with a lot of different stuff. Anyway, let's continue. So this guy reminds me of one of the Kais from Dragon Ball Z.
May we never be shaken.
May we never fall.
So, this is my honest opinion because the color scheme, like, I don't know if that's Gabriel or this kid right here is Gabriel, but this dude, I don't know who this is. I really don't know who this is, but the color scheme reminds me of the new He-Man cartoon. I've seen clips of that. I know that was a trash fire, the first block. The second block is supposed to be better. It's good to see, because I've talked about this before. This is quite a while ago, how Christian media was just getting lazy and their stuff just freaking looked terrifying. If you guys, any of you guys follow someone called Saberspark on here, he has talked a lot about Christian media and just how weird it is. So from what I'm seeing here is this studio has taken notes. This is the same studio as I said, excuse me, got tongue-tied there. Castlevania, Invincible, X-Men 97. So I'm not going to lie. When I saw the amount of rainbow color scheme in here, because that's what kind of caught my attention the first off, and I'm not saying it's coded in any particular way, it came across as really fruity. That is the best description I have for this. I'm not making fun. The art style and the pointed ears is what kind of like threw me for a loop, because I'm like, what is this supposed to be? Why? Like, these guys remind me of the Kais from the Dragon Ball universe, which isn't a bad thing, that you can tell certain people grew up with certain things. So I get a lot of DBZ references. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Let's see if you guys can see that here. Okay, so I was trying to make sure I did not click on the wrong freaking thing. Made video. Oh, that really screwed that up. Okay, so we're gonna do some live screen adjustment here. Bear with me. But there's a poster here. And yes, I'm screwing with this in real time because, whoopsie. Okay. The girl, I don't know what these characters' names are. I don't know. I'm going to move that over so you can kind of see her a little bit better. But if you look at this right here, look at her headpiece. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay, well, screw you then. I guess I'm not able to zoom in. Can I zoom in? Can I zoom in, please? Let me zoom in. Okay, so are you guys seeing like that headpiece right there? And apparently I just screwed it up. Whatever. Anyway, that headpiece right there on her head. That reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! She reminds me of a character from Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm seeing influences from DBZ. This guy, I don't know who this is or what he's supposed to be. They all have pointed ears, which tells me there's also a strong influence. Legend of Zelda. This reminds me of Death Mountain, and it's not a bad thing. the artist behind this, you can tell there's different inspirations from a lot of different places. Now, I think what they're trying to do with the design, because you see a lot more colorful characters, and if you guys have followed the controversies enough, covered by Clownfish TV, Geeks and Gamers, Neurotic, Critical Drinker, if you guys follow anybody in that sphere, Yellow Flash, the Umbrella Guy, because Comicsgate covers a lot of this stuff with cartoons, comic books, and I'm not saying Clownfish TV is part of Comicsgate. I'm just saying in general, if you guys follow anybody from that sphere, you will pick up a kind of a new style of characters. And I think because I couldn't tell what studio this was, and that is both a good and bad thing. Bad thing because, as I said, this first came across to me as fruity. Like the amount of rainbow color scheme in here, just like the color of the characters. I was just like, oh, why does this look so weird? Am I supposed to think that these are angels? Because, yeah, the name implies Gabriel and the Guardians, and the star, the morning star, biblical reference. So, which is a reference to Lucifer, and you see this dark figure. So I did get biblical references from this. But I also kind of thought, well, are they going to twist off? This looks like, and I don't want to be mean. I really don't want to be mean. I have mixed feelings on this. It looks like someone jumped out of Tumblr. But as I said, you can tell there's a lot of different influence here. So it's a weird mix, and I don't know too much about Angel Studios. I know it's a Christian media company. I do follow them on Facebook. They haven't been in my feed for a while, though. I don't have an issue with the designs. I really, really don't. They didn't show her much in the trailer. They kind of showed him. As I said, he reminds me of a Gerudo from The Legend of Zelda. He really does. The hairstyle, the red, just everything. And she looks like she could have jumped out from a Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon. You got a little bit of like Zelda, DBZ influence here, and there's other games too. Maybe a little bit throw in Phantasy Star, Final Fantasy. I don't know. You can tell they've been influenced by a lot of different stuff, old media, new media. And I could be reading way too much into this, but I thought I look. I'm like, holy crap! There's a mishmash of certain stuff here. Like, anyway, so tell me what you guys think. This is supposed to come out 2025. I don't know if I'll be watching this. It caught my attention, and as I said, it's both a good and bad thing. I could not tell what studio or well, I mentioned the studio that it was from. But I couldn't tell what people were involved, and as I said, that's a bad thing on one hand because it came across as fruity at first. I'm like, oh, what is with all the freaking rainbow stuff? And then a good thing because it's like, this looks like what should I say, modern cartoon or more of the flashy cartoons look like these days. But I don't know. I don't. There's a lot. Like, I'm not against the influence. Like, I do like how you can pick out influences here and there, and it shows that the artists who are involved in this are paying attention to certain things about the current media. And that is something that I think I harped on in that video I mentioned that I did a few years ago where Christian media just wanted to freaking spoof the crap out of everything, or they wanted to make a quote-unquote Christian version of it, and it was so lazy. But the fact that this shows that the artists are paying attention to styles, the way that a lot of studios are coloring their characters, like it shows that they are paying attention to stuff. And it's a little bit, I want to say it's a bit jarring because I'm not used to Christian media paying attention to stuff. I'm really not, where it's like, oh, you can pick out, back in the day, you could pick out when it was Christian media from the art style, the lack of artistic discipline, the skill set, how low the skill set was. Like, you could pick it out very easily. with this, if you were to take away the studio name, if you were to take away the cartoon and say, put this in a poster with a bunch of other like anime characters or the cartoons going these days that look very similar, like even Vox, Mechana, or I believe that's what that's called. You wouldn't be able to pick out that it was Christian media, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, hey, this looks interesting. I hope it's good. So yeah, no, it's a mixed bag, and hopefully it's successful and not weird from the trailer. Like I said, I get strong Legend of Zelda vibes. A little bit of DBZ. Probably there's other influences on there that I'm not picking up because there are certain video games and stuff I didn't grow up with or I didn't play. The Yu-Gi-Oh, like that. This has to be because it's more like a Pharaoh type thing. I'm not saying that's because of Yu-Gi-Oh, but if you guys followed Yu-Gi-Oh, the cartoon, they very, very much utilize the Egyptian culture and aesthetics and things like that. So there's just, yeah. So I kind of get like a mix of DBZ, mixed with Zelda, mixed with other things. So it's kind of a weird mishmash. Hopefully it works out. But anyway, tell me what your guys' thoughts are below. Are you guys interested? Are you guys want to see more on the rise? Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.